Hello and welcome to TheArteagan Flight 001. This is your captain speaking. If you are traveling through another dimension, you are in the right seat. A dimension not only of sight and sound and mind, but a journey into a wondrous new vibratory frequency. We'd now like to tell you about some important safety features of this aircraft. The most important safety feature we have aboard this aircraft is your attention. Please buckle up, everyone. It is going to be a thrilling ride.
Hello everyone, welcome to another scorching week of life. I am your Madam President of TheArteagan and your favorite witchy auntie Natalie, spelled N-A-T-A-L-E-E. Okay, this week is going to be disappointing. It's going to be disappointing. That's how we're going to start. But we're going to end really strong, okay? So basically, Monday, there's a sextile between the Sun and Uranus, so there may be a nice opportunity opening up for you. However, it's just a sextile, it's just an opportunity. You have to go out and grab it. You have to actually reach out, and you have to be play that active role in capitalizing on something. So that's Monday, that's okay. The moon is in Taurus, trining Pluto in Capricorn before going void most of the day. So you're working on something, you're chewing on something. Something is changing, transforming, happening with you. And after the moon enters Gemini, it makes a square to Jupiter in Pisces. So again, there's going to be some disappointment, especially the beginning of the week. It's Tuesday that we have Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune, retrograding in the sign of Pisces. And this is the last, there's been three. The last, so it's really like one big long square from Mercury to Neptune. And you can look back to May 22nd and June 5th for more clues as to what this has really been about for you. What has really been confusing, vague, ambiguous, disappointing. I'm calling this week venom extraction, something with extracting venom, because that really is it. Lies, deception, falseness, fakery, self-delusion, that's like a form of abuse, okay? Gaslighting, just lying by omission, all of that is absolute venom. It is poison, it is toxic, it is destructive. It will take you down. It will take everyone down. It'll take down your relationships, your careers, like your soul, okay? So even if you see someone, you think that they're succeeding or they're getting anywhere, they have the great looking life, and if there's any part of that that is built on a lie or built on a falsity, if they're being inauthentic, if they are literally lying and they're like laundering money, or if there's anything at all like that, that's venomous to their soul. That's absolutely poisonous to their being. And it's not your concern, it's their concern, it's their business, it's their soul, it's their life, it's their free will, individual choice. And so you may not see people getting the consequences of that karma in their one lifetime. It may go down to their descendants. It may come back around in their next lifetime or the next two lifetimes, whatever. I just don't want you to go along thinking that you have to live life a certain way because of the way someone else's life is going, or the way other people are living their life, or what society says you need to live your life according to this way, or this is the recipe, this is the formula for success or happiness or anything. Remember, we're moving away from that. We're moving away from giving our power away to institutionalized authority figures, giving our power away to society, what society thinks, giving our power away to the collective, in the sense that we're not living anymore for our own individual intuition in our own individual lives. So this Mercury square Neptune is going to rip off the rose-colored glasses in some area of your life that you were under a misconception, that you were under a misapprehension, that there was something that you just weren't getting. This is also a source of a drain of energy for you. So if there's been any negativity in your life, if there's been any sort of conflict, or as a result of you being confused, as a result of you trying to figure something out, as a result of there being some sort of psychic or spiritual or emotional, mental aggravation, that is your red flag. Your triggers are also your clues as to what you want to actually put more attention into and put more work into and working on. So for some people, this is absolutely them coming up against the parts of themselves that tell them to lie, that want them to lie, that actually lie in their closest relationships, in their careers and what have you. And you know, that's going to be very specific for those people. If they're dealing with deception outwardly and they've dealt with deception within themselves, remember, we're only attracting mirrors. We're only attracting what we are. And if we attract triggers and we see things in people that we don't like in our partners, there's something inside of us that's trying to get out of that, that's trying to outgrow that, that's trying to move beyond that, move through that energy. So if things are showing up in your partnerships and there's conflicts showing up in the connections that you have with other people, it really is a call to take a deeper look into, is there anything like that in myself? Is there anything that I don't like in that other person? Can I see that? Can I possibly see that happening in myself? Because if there's something there and you let yourself take a look at it, you're going to heal it. You're going to figure it out. You're going to come into an understanding of why that's like that, of how it got there, of what you're going to do next about it. Because you'll be doing it from a conscious free will choice. It won't be something subconsciously running your life in the background. So Tuesday is actually going to be the crunchiest day, because that's also the day. Okay, so like I said, look back to May 22nd, June 5th, because there was still something kind of off, or something, you know, things happening. Mercury's been through a very difficult transit through Gemini, the eclipse, the Cazimi, the retrograde. So this Gemini area of life has been under a lot of duress, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of recalibration, having to look at this differently. Okay, so it's a very important area of life. And with Neptune affecting you this way, you've had to come up against your idealizations, your projections, your fears, your faith. And so this is a very important moment to extract and squeeze out that venom, where you abuse yourself with your own delusions, where you abuse yourself with your own misconceptions, where you abuse yourself with your own projections and idealizations onto some person or situation or whatever it is that just isn't so. And you're ready to step into a bigger responsibility, for taking more responsibility for your mind, your mindset, your communication, owning your image, owning your speech and your spell work and your energy that you're putting out there. So Tuesday, there could be like a clash. There could be, you know, something kind of coming together and breaking in a way where but it's going to be revolving around clarity. So something's going to be clear, but at the same time, there may be a disappointment. There may be this need to extract some venom from a relationship, from an interaction, from a situation, from anything. And you know, it doesn't have to be so. For some of you, this may be a legal thing, like a legal litigious thing that it's like, it's just been going through courts. You've been filing things, appealing things. You've been like going back and forth, and it's like finally you get some last big hurdle to move through and to go through. So it's going to be different for all of you guys. Look to see where Gemini is in your chart, as well as Pisces. Tuesday, we also have Venus in Leo opposing Saturn retrograding in the sign of Aquarius. This is gnarly. Look to your chart, see if you have Venus in a positive aspect with Saturn, like a trine or a sextile. That will work better for you. You'll experience this a little bit better. However, for the rest of us, this is definitely going to be, for some, it's going to be disappointment, okay? But it can be a need to make a commitment, and understanding that you can't be irresponsible for what you love. If you love a person or an activity or a hobby or a pet or a job, a career, whatever you really truly deeply care about, there is no way to get around that sense of responsibility for it, that sense of ownership over it. Even your own creativity with yourself, let's just say it doesn't involve anybody else and you're trying to be very independent and you're owning your own creativity, that's still a responsibility. That's still a responsibility that you owe to yourself regarding your talents and your skills and the production and the sharing of it and the discipline to actually channel that creativity and bring it about into a physical manifestation, whether that's a song lyric or a drum beat or a painting or a book, whatever it happens to be. So I'm telling you, Tuesday's going to be like the day. But with Venus opposing Saturn, there's this need for a compromise between expressing yourself, being who and what you are, and taking responsibility for all that you are and how that's going to benefit a bigger vision for your life, a bigger picture for your life, but more importantly, a structure for your life. You've been building something that has either been a cage that has been making you feel the past few weeks. We're still in this T-square energy. So this Aquarius area of life is really being the damper on the Leo energy. The Leo energy just wants to have fun, wants to be free, wants to do whatever it wants. But this Saturn energy is saying, you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. And Uranus and Taurus is saying, like, just go balls to the walls. Like, let's just, like, whatever is keeping you in a cage, let's break you out of it. And this can be anything from a structure of your day that you built this cage around, that it's over structured, there's not enough freedom, there's not enough play, there's not enough doing what you want to do. It could be freeing yourself, liberating yourself from a relationship with someone who's really narrow-minded, who's really pessimistic, who's really negative, who only see things in a very specific way, and you're like, God, you're so negative. It could be liberating yourself from an image that you project out into the world that you feel now is a cage, that I can't grow, I can't outgrow this image that I built for myself, because this image is so narrow-minded, it's so specific, it's so limiting. This image that I built up for myself, and I'm trying to get out of that. I'm trying to just grow out of it, and I'm really freaking out because I already created it. I put all the effort into it, you know, or a town that you moved to, or, you know, something. There's something that you've been putting into that you're realizing that you're outgrowing, and you're ready to either start on something totally new, or you're ready to tweak it. Like, if it really is meant to stay in your life, you've got to have these important conversations with that person and say, listen, there has to be room for growth. You need room for growth, I need room for growth. And so we have to accept that about each other. And if you know, you have to change something about that situation. And that's what this Venus opposing Saturn feels like for me on Tuesday, is getting to that place where you are growing, you are evolving, you are able to give justice to something that you do love, something that you do care about, but in a way that is measured, in a way that is sustainable. Sustainability is like a very big deal with this. So that's Tuesday. The moon is in Gemini, trining this Saturn in Aquarius. So a lot of power being given to Saturn in Aquarius, retrograde. So some of these, actually Neptune's also retrograde. So these issues coming up are issues from your past, where you either haven't been able to make a commitment to something you love, or you've been evading taking responsibility for something you love, or you know, some sort of relational aspect, or with the Mercury square to Neptune, you've had some difficulty in your past having faith. You had some difficulty in your past cultivating a faith or a belief in yourself or in the situation or in something going on, or you've had a problem of lying to yourself, lying to somebody else. And this is a sharp extraction of this venom. So whatever it happens to be, this T-square has been aggravating these areas of your life for a while now, where you're already feeling the heat, you're already feeling restless, you're already feeling like you need to just break out. And so, do you have the courage to do that? Because Venus in Leo is about loyalty. Mars did this last week. Mars opposed Saturn Thursday. So what was going on Thursday? What was really getting under your skin Thursday? That's coming back around, but it's going to feel better than it did Thursday. Thursday was hard because it was Mars. It was much more aggressive. Whereas on Tuesday, it'll be so much softer. It'll be so much sweeter. It'll be a lot easier for you to, for instance, take responsibility for something you love, like your talent or your skill or your, you know, if you want to learn guitar, if you want to be able to do a solo like Zakk Wylde, you have to practice that pentatonic scale. You have to practice the boring parts of it first and get that muscle memory in your fingers, so that when you're creative on stage and you're in the flow and you're not thinking, you're not planning out every little note that you're going to hit, you just let the fingers do it, and you just let yourself channel that creative frequency. But you don't get to be that way if you don't practice. Psychic ability is the same way, by the way. So that's Tuesday. And like I said, we're still going to be in the crunchy, weird energy until Friday. That's the new moon in Cancer. Wednesday, not a lot going on. That moon in Gemini is squaring Neptune, conjuncting Mercury in Gemini. So it's more of the same. It's more of the same information, more of the same issues that you're going through, that you're thinking about. And because it's Gemini, it's a duality. It is like that two-faced energy where you can hold, okay, this is the very definition. It's so weird for me to meet a Gemini that's very closed-minded. It's very strange because the whole like heart of Gemini, like who Gemini really is open-minded. Open-mindedness is when you can actually argue both sides because you feel the energy of both sides to yourself and within yourself. So you can say, I totally understand these vaccines. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't have long-term testing. I totally understand why people are afraid of them. And you can say to yourself, yeah, you know, thank goodness we have a vaccine. People are dying all over the world trying to get a vaccine. And, you know, there are a lot of studies that have proven them safe and like XYZ. You can see it genuinely from both sides. You can feel both emotions. You can really, but it's genuine, and that's Gemini. So that's why it's weird to see Geminis that are like really judgmental or closed-minded, or they just like decide what they think. It's very more Sagittarius, more low shadow Sagittarius energy. But with this Gemini energy, you could have that cognitive dissonance where you're living one way and thinking a whole different way, where you're betraying yourself, you're betraying the truth to yourself. You could be lying to yourself. You could be lying to other people, keeping secrets. You could be presenting yourself as one way and being something else. You could be, I mean, there's so many different things, different ways that it could be manifesting, but it's manifesting in everyone's chart somewhere, somehow, where you just haven't been reconciling the truth with how you're living your life, what you're thinking in your mind, or how you're feeling in your heart. Okay? Everyone's going to have something that's crunchy and difficult to deal with. Wednesday, there's going to be more of that flowing over. Whatever happened Tuesday, you're going to be thinking about it Wednesday, and you're going to be reconsidering something that's already been ongoing, and you're ready to break out. By Thursday, we have Venus in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus at 14 degrees. Now, this is cool. This is freaking awesome. This is like you are ready. This is like if you've been afraid to love someone, if you've been afraid to come out of the closet, if you've been afraid to come out of the psychic closet, if you've been afraid to come out of like any kind of closet or be who you are, this is self-expression. This is loyalty to yourself first, loyalty to your own creative expression first, how you're going to represent yourself, how you're going to address yourself. I read Diary of a Genius, Dolly's book, and it was so good for me. He talks about dressing in the uniform of like who you are and like going out into the world and presenting yourself as that. So if there's been anything that was holding you up from being that, or anyone holding you back from growing and evolving into a better version of yourself, or situations, living arrangements, jobs, careers, anything at all, this Uranus is going to break you out. It's going to liberate you, set you free. And this can be like a romantic surprise that goes very well. This can be a romantic surprise that takes a turn, and you see something that you just don't like in this person because they're not supporting you in being who you are, or they're not supporting themselves in being who they really are, and it doesn't resonate with you. So there can be a break there. We don't know with Uranus. It's the only aspect that's like of astrology that's like very unpredictable. By the time we get to Friday, that's the new moon in Cancer, so it's dark. Things are still dark. Things are going to be coming to light more, and it's going to be Sunday that Mercury finally leaves the sign of Gemini and enters into Cancer, so the clarity really comes through after Sunday. So take the weekend to listen to your intuition, follow your hunches, go with your gut, really put into emotional, spiritual, mental self-care and nourishment. That's this Cancerian new moon. I will talk more about that on Friday. I will live stream here on YouTube and then go over on Patreon afterwards. So that's basically it. The weekend's going to be great. Sunday, that Mercury in the new sign of Cancer will immediately trine Jupiter in Pisces. So you're going to be feeling so much better about where you're going, what your life is like, your philosophy, and it's going to be great. So just make it through Tuesday, get to the weekend, and just align with who you really are. Extract the venom that needs to get extracted so that you can really just live in the truth, and you'll feel so much better, I promise you. I love you guys so much. Take really good care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment below, and help support this channel any way you can with the photons, with the good karma donations, with the Patreon tiers. I offer so much on Patreon. I absolutely love it. Take very good care until next week, my dearies. Many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.